So good evening, everybody. It's 9 o'clock where I am, so this is the time when we start. I'm so happy you're here for tonight's session. Thank you so much for signing up, and it's a joy to guide you through the inner peace drawing session tonight. I am a guide for mothers who are seeking to reconnect with themselves, and especially as they are going through the first couple months of motherhood, but also then when they're further down the road. And I normally offer this unique drawing method to mothers in women's circles or in my workshops. And tonight I am delivering this session on behalf of the School of Humankind. The School of Humankind is a collecting of amazing people of all kinds of disciplines who are here to support you in the tricky business of being human. And dealing with emotions and regulating yourself is definitely part of this, and it's what we're going to do tonight in this session. So the inner peace drawing session is designed to express emotional turmoil and to find balance through art. It's a combination of meditation, breath work, and art therapy tools. And today I'm not going to explain all of those elements just for the sake of time. But I want to tell you briefly how I came to do this work and who I am. So my name is Vreni Renggli. I am a mother of three. I am an artist. I am an art therapy practitioner, and I am a primary school teacher as well. And I am a mother of three, which is kind of what enables me to give you this workshop tonight. So after about a year after the birth of my second child, I realized that I felt quite discontent and unhappy. And I felt somehow separate from the joyful and energetic person, the woman I was before my children were born. And I was in this state of kind of just waiting that one day I would feel like this woman again, the person that I was before I became a mother. So somehow over time, very slowly, I had become a person I kind of no longer enjoyed being. And I actually was not really able to answer the question what I liked or what I enjoyed anymore. So I started looking for the reason, like, why is this that I feel like this? And I realized that I had poured all my energy like into my children and my family, and I barely recognized this faint version of myself that I had become. And well, I think this is something most mothers experience. And I described it as having this heavy jumble of undefined emotions just sitting in my chest. And I did not know how to put those into words, and I did not know how to release it. I mean, of course, I had expected changes in my life with the arrival of a child, but I had not expected like this inner shift and this shift in my personality. So I was able to manage the outer changes pretty well. And it had changed big time. But I would say I had it together, like the changing nappies and the preparing food and all those things. But I had no idea how to navigate the inner changes. And I think the worst thing was that I was ashamed to admit this. I felt very alone in this experience. So at this time, then I started using art to navigate my inner world. So I had been drawing before. I've been an artist or an art teacher before. So I started using art to navigate my inner world, because free creative work is just very beneficial, and it helps us relax and get to know and understand ourselves better. So I used art to come back to myself. And just when I was about to feel like on stable ground again, I became pregnant with my third child. And what happened was that it started all over again. And it was just then that I became kind of suspicious. And I started researching, like, what is happening, like, to my psyche when I go through pregnancy. And I came across the term matrescence. So I don't know if you've ever heard about matrescence. If you didn't, I like want to offer you this word as kind of a gift of tonight. And yeah, because it's a fairly new word, actually, and it just describes, or it's the term for the complete transformation and identity shift a woman goes through as she moves through motherhood and as she transitions from maiden to mother. And it is defined as this, and it is defined as affecting all areas, like psychological, social, emotional, physical, economic, cultural, and spiritual. So this is pretty much, and this is what I was going through, and I was kind of feeling internally, but I had no language to talk about it. And these changes, they are all started through pregnancy and through all the hormones, and they change your brain big time. And it was kind of this change that I felt. So like my brain felt like unknown territory, and the only way to kind of access it for me was art. So every woman moves through this, and knowing this, I was okay. I want to offer this art tool to other mothers, to give them a tool to navigate this very challenging time. And it's not only the first months; it goes on. You know, like there are like changes all over again. When your children grow up, like you have to change again. Don't know how old your children are, but mine are 12, 10, and 7, and the changes will like continue, I would say. So unfortunately, like really unfortunately, in our culture, we do not really talk about this period of transition. And I'm pretty sure if I had known that this is a common experience, I would have been able to navigate it differently. And I would have had the chance maybe to consciously create my new identity, instead of just devotedly living up to all the social expectations of a good mother and feeling like I'm not having an own personality anymore. So for today, I would love for you to leave with the knowing that those inner shifts and those inner struggles when you experience the transformation from maiden to mother, or just when you're navigating motherhood, that they are called matrescence and that they are normal. And they include feeling lost and disconnected, unstable, emotional, and overwhelmed. Because I understand the difficulty in admitting those feelings in motherhood, since it does not correspond with all that what we believe we should feel as mothers, and all that is portrayed in society, how a good mother should feel. So I wish for you to leave knowing that you're not alone, and that there is also a way or tools to navigate this challenging time. So I know from experience also that the upcoming holiday season has the potential to even intensify the inner turmoil, so to speak. And carrying all this inside is often either leading to conflict, as it bursts out at the wrong time or in the wrong tone, or you become somewhat disconnected and you're not able to tune into the holiday joy, just because you're so caught up with your inner mess. Or maybe you could say you're so busy keeping yourself together. So we want to release some of the chaotic mess inside today, okay? And there are just two more things I'd like to say. Like, first, I caught a cold last week and my throat is very scratchy and hurting. But I did not want to cancel this session, as I know how much we mothers need those spaces to relax and recharge, especially before Christmas. But to just protect my voice, I will play you a recording of myself leading through the drawing session. So I will be here, I will monitoring the chat, and I will come on as soon as we're done with the drawing. But I'm gonna play it from recording. Maybe you already hear my voice getting like down in tune. So the second thing is, in this recording, I'll show you a paper, but unfortunately, what should be on the paper is not very visible. So I'm gonna show you what is gonna be on this paper. So this is the figure on the paper that I show you in the recording, which is unfortunately not very good. So I will screen share and I'll play you the recording and I'll come back afterwards. And if you have any questions, you just put them in the chat and I am here for you. Just give me a second. Okay. You should see screen share. And I hope you have your pen and paper ready. I'm gonna start the first explanation and then the drawing part for you. You should have 2 sheets of paper and a pen at least. That's the bare minimum you need to go through the session. So first I want to give you a very easy exercise to warm up. You take your first sheet of paper and make yourself comfortable with your chair. And I want you to draw a figure 8 on your paper, and you can see this, just like this. Very simple. And while I am talking now, you can just trace this line. You can use your right hand, you can change and then also use your left hand or just the other hand, the other pen, while I give you some information about the following process. So I just invite you to keep drawing while I'm talking. So we will first go through a relaxation process before we start the drawing. We will systematically relax the body and connect with our inner world so that you're able to access and release your emotions. So there are a few things I want to tell you in advance so you don't get irritated. First thing is, you're going to draw with your eyes closed. We will go through the relaxation and we will then just start painting or drawing while in this state. So you need to have your paper and your pen ready so that you can find it without opening your eyes and without having a look. This is just to quiet our rational mind, to just kind of eliminate this inner judgment, because we're just going to draw lines. You can call it scribbles, lines. It's not supposed to be beautiful or in
a masterpiece of any sort. So don't worry if you kind of exit the paper when you draw and you realize, oh, I think I went over the border. Please keep your eyes closed and move back. You can use your other hand to feel the edges of the paper. And the next thing is, so if you are doing this for the first time, it can be difficult to start. It can be difficult to access your inner world. So don't worry if you need some time, just give yourself time. If you have a hard time to express what your needs and emotions are in life, then it might also be challenging to draw from this place. So we're not in a hurry, just give yourself time and I'll hold space for you. And then there's another thing that when we finally open up and when we finally start expressing what's inside, there sometimes is this tendency that we kind of jump from one thing to the next thing. So if we are now turning inside, then I'd ask you to kind of have one thing in mind. For mothers, I normally ask them to think about their role as a mother, how they feel in their role of mother. And we take this in mind and in heart while we're drawing. And then there is a moment of pause or emptiness. And this is the moment when we stop the drawing so that we do not kind of jump on to another theme or another topic. Because sometimes like our soul takes advantage of the moment when we finally open up and it brings up one thing after the other. And we do not want to overwhelm ourselves. So when you feel like a pause and emptiness and or like that you're there, like you arrive, then just stop. This is the moment to stop. So last thing, when you are finished, please take a moment before you open your eyes. Get in a state of curiosity and compassion and try not to judge the lines you see. When you open your eyes, just follow those lines with your eyes and try to take them into your heart by seeing it through your heart. Okay. If there are any questions, you can let me know in the chat now. If not, please place your pen and paper in front of you so that you can find it without opening your eyes. Seems to be no questions. So I invite you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Ground yourself. Put your feet on the floor. And think about the topic you're going to draw. Think about yourself in the role as mother, or think about any other topic that is bothering you actually in your life, or where you would want some change to occur. Inhale and exhale in your own rhythm. Feel your body in the chair. Feel your head and your skull. And when you exhale, release all tension. Feel your face and relax all the muscles in your face. Feel even your thumb relaxing and all the little muscles around your eyes. Relax your neck and shoulders and down your arms and hands and fingers. Just relax and let it go. Feel your chest and stomach relaxing. Relax down your legs into your feet. And now imagine that a very bright light is coming from above and it's entering your head through your crown chakra. It's going down through your head, through your throat, into your heart. And it's glowing in your heart is a very bright, vibrant light. And now go down with your awareness. Go down to your feet. And try to go down into the earth, into the center of the earth. And there's a deep orange, yellowish light coming from the center of the earth. It's coming all the way out from the center to your feet. And it enters your body through the soul. It's moving up your legs, into your pelvis, up through your core, and it's connecting to the bright light in your chest. And I invite you to take a deep inhale. Hold your breath just for a moment. And then exhale completely. Take another deep breath. Hold it just for a moment. And let it all go. And take a third and last deep breath. Hold it and let it all go. And put your awareness to the center of your chest, where you have those two energies. This very bright light coming from above, and this yellowish orange light coming from the center of the earth. And try to make this light even brighter and bigger. It's a very intense, bright light with a very high vibration. And with every inhale, you can see it getting a little bit brighter. And with the exhale, it expands. And you can just inhale, see it brighter. Exhale and expand. Then what I now want you to imagine is that there is a fine line of this light coming out of your chest. And you take your pen, keep your eyes closed, and you imagine this line of light coming out from your chest to the tip of your pen. And this line of light is guiding your pen. When you're ready, you can put your pen to paper. And you now move your pen on paper while keeping this bright light in your chest. When you inhale, you focus on the light in your chest. And when you exhale, you move the pen. Don't think, just feel. And don't forget to breathe. You can breathe in your own rhythm. And make sure you keep breathing. Make sure you keep your attention in the center of your chest, while also feeling how the point of the pen moves over the paper. Maybe you feel the resistance of the paper. You hear the sound of the moving pen, while you still experience the vibrancy of the energy in your chest. And you keep moving over your paper until you feel like there's nothing left about this topic in your chest. You may feel calm, you may feel peaceful, you may feel complete, or as if you were there, or just empty. And I just want you to remind you that you take a moment before you open your eyes and check in with your heart and connect to your center before you have a look at what you created. And you can just take your time to move the pen a little quickly. Keep breathing and keep the attention in your chest, on this light and the feeling in your chest. And as I cannot see if you're still drawing when I do this over Zoom, I would ask you to just raise your hand button when you are done with your painting and when you have had a first look at it. Keep breathing. Remember to keep breathing and to keep your attention in your heart. Sometimes we realize that our awareness is kind of going up, moving up into our head, and then we just want to pull it back down. I always place my hand over my chest so that I do not lose this connection. And then I'll give you another minute to draw. And if you want to give me a sign with the raise hand button when you're done, I really appreciate it. So if you're still drawing, take your time. If you finished the drawing, I invite you to just push the raise your hand button so I know if you're done, or you could also turn on your camera and show your lines.
And make sure you kind of spot the moment when you feel this pause, so you're not kind of overcrowding your drawing. So I can show you my lines for those who are ready already. So as I did not have to read the whole or to speak the whole meditation, I was able to dive into the drawing as well, which was a nice experience to be guided by myself. I've never done this before. So I would love if you share in the chat how this experience was for you, how you feel now. If you experienced kind of a release of emotions, or how you felt during the process. And if you're just shy, it felt freeing, relaxing. Yes, thank you for sharing. This is what we wanted to kind of experience tonight, right? To get a little pause, a bit of relaxation before the holiday season. I needed it. Yes, me too. Me too. So Kesha says it was very calming. It helped when I stopped overthinking the lines and allowed myself to just draw. It was nice to focus on the feeling of the pen gliding on the paper. Yes, thank you for sharing. I hope those who joined late were able to follow the process. I said at the beginning that we are drawing with eyes closed. And this is exactly why, like we want to calm the rational mind. We don't want to overthink what we do, or we don't want to think those lines. We don't want to rationalize it. We just want to like draw from the feeling place. Yes. And if you maybe do this like repeatedly over time, Kesha, you will realize how different a pen can sound, or how different a pen can feel on a paper if you try different pens, or also different papers. They have different textures, and it's really interesting. I love it. I love it. And there are pens that kind of, you feel they're kind of just jumping over the paper, or sometimes it's just this smooth glide. Yeah, so thank you very much for being here tonight. Those lines, they're kind of they're your starting point. You can use them, you can work with them, It is a very relaxing and freeing process. So you can leave it at this. You can just use it as a tool to release your emotions, or you can go on with those lines. Because without kind of going in all to the details, like those lines, they come from a place in your mind, in your brain, that is the subconscious, but with the process we did with quieting the rational mind and going into the feeling, we access this part of the brain that it really has no words to express. And it's the subconscious mind. It's the very ancient part of the brain, the implicit memories we have also from very early on. And those lines are directly connected to this part. And you can maybe you put them up in your apartment somewhere. Maybe you put it on the refrigerator and you look at them and you can just feel into them, and you can kind of go into a dialogue with those lines. You can ask which lines you like, which lines you don't like, and you can start making changes. And oftentimes, for myself, I gain insight into what's going on in my life by working on those lines, by just having them with me and kind of like talking to them. So, yeah, what I do with clients also is I guide them through a session, and I take their lines into my studio and I create an artwork that you would then hang in your living room. And it's always amazing to see the transformation and what it is able to also then kind of spark changes in your life, like when you see the potential that lies in those lines. Yeah. So this is something I do in my studio, in my practice. It's also something that I offer through the School of Humankind. Just to, again, tell you, the School of Humankind is an amazing project. They offer 2 free sessions a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's always amazing stuff. It's from all kinds of disciplines, and I can highly just recommend to go to their sessions. It's always a fun experience. Yes, so this said, we're at the end of our session, and I will stop the recording here. So maybe for those who do not want to share about their lines or about their experience on the recording, you could come on when I stop the recording and we can have a chat. So for the rest, I wish you a nice evening or day, and I hope to see you soon.